Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Mystery Box Function Challenge. We have a purple mystery box, and inside that mystery box, there is some math. And the math is going to change the numbers that you put in the top into something else as they come out the bottom. Your job is to figure out what that math is, what's going on inside the mystery box. You'll get a chart of the ins and the outs, and we'll even graph those as points so that you can see the graph and maybe get some clues about the math that way. You can go to the link in the description, plug in as many numbers as you like until you think you know what's inside that mystery box. So pause the video, go ahead and do that, then come back here and see if I get the same thing that you got. All right, well, hopefully you've had a chance to figure this one out. I'm going to put in a 0 to start. And 0 gives us 0. So this could be a lot of things. We've run into this before. This might be the constant function, f of x equals 0. It might be the line f of x equals x, or any number of lines that have a y-intercept of 0. F of x equals 2x or 3x or a million x. So we really need another point to narrow this down. So I put in a 1 and I get out a -1. Okay, so maybe this is a line with a slope of -1. So y equals -x. So every number you put in just gives the negative value. That might be. Let's put in a 2 and see if we get a -2. Oh, I got a -4 there. I'm going to put in a 3. I have a hunch about this one. Okay, this is doing something that I thought it was doing. It seems to be following this pattern of making this sort of gently curving shape that we've seen when we have x squared, although this is different because it seems to be upside down from the ones we've seen before. If my hunch is right, it should have a symmetrical part over here. So if we put in the negative version of these numbers, -1, it should give us the same values out. So a -1 should give us the same thing that a 1 gave us, which is -1. Yeah, and there it is. And if we put in a -2, we should get a -4. And a -3 should give us a -9. Okay, there it is. So it looks like an upside down parabola. The vertex, well, in this case, the highest point, because this thing is upside down, is at 0. So we're not adding or subtracting anything to this. But it can't just be f of x equals x squared, right? Because that doesn't make sense. It's upside down. So there's an x squared in it somewhere, but there's something else going on. Well, when you flip something upside down on a graph like this, you're basically taking the negative of it. So this is actually f of x, I'm pretty sure, equals -x squared. And let's double check that. I mean, if you put in a 0, that's still going to be 0 because 0 squared is 0 and there's no such thing as a -0. It's just 0. If you put in a 1 and you square it, it gives you a +1 and you get a -1 out. You put in a 2 and square it, you get a +4, you get a -4 out. Let's jump down to the -2. If you put in a -2 and square it, you're going to get a +4, but then you take the negative of it, you get a -4. So I think this is -x squared. Let's try one more value just to predict it. So let's try a 4. If I put in a 4, I square it, and then I take the negative value. So I should get -16. That'll be off the graph, but at least we can verify that our hunch is correct. So I'm going to put in a 4, and we should get -16. And there we go. So I'm pretty confident we got this one right. Let's go ahead and reveal. Yes, f of x is a -x squared. And the graph for that, beautiful upside down parabola. It looks like a lovely arch. Well, how did that go for you? Did the upside down part throw you for a loop, or did you see that this was just going to be a -x squared early on? Let me know. Thanks, everybody.